I've been dating since I was 15. I'm exhausted. Where is he?
Who, the White Knight?
Hello everyone, it's me, Michelle, back on the channel. I have been on YouTube since I was 18, so I'm 28 now. That's a decade of being online, and I feel like I've gone through real phases with my relationship with the internet and how much I share or overshare. I definitely had an era where I was all about being vulnerable, but almost like took it too far to the point that I was giving parts of myself away to the internet and to people online, like in exchange for views, and it just like, it didn't make me feel great. I do think there's such a power in being vulnerable and being honest and raw online, and it can be like the most beautiful thing, but for me personally, I needed to draw a line there because I was just taking it too far. Today, I'm not oversharing by any means, but I got a request on Instagram to talk about dating burnout and thriving being single, and I loved this idea so much. I feel like I used to talk about dating and my love life so much. I feel like I'm just a lover girly. I'm a Cancer moon and rising. I have a lot of feelings and I love. I'm such a hopeless romantic, and as much as I want to be very intentional and careful with what I put online, and I want to make sure that I'm not oversharing to the point where I'm making myself uncomfortable, I do miss a certain level of vulnerability that I used to incorporate into my videos. So today I thought we could talk about where my head is at with dating while I get ready for the day and do my makeup. It felt very serendipitous when I got this request to talk about dating burnout, because I am currently in the midst of massive dating burnout. I feel like around last fall, I had just gotten my new job. I was feeling really stable for the first time in a long time in my finances, career, my life direction. I feel like I had my core group of friends and was really ready to bring in a little something into the mix, and really started trying to be more intentional with dating. As much as I love and am a bit of a hopeless romantic, I definitely have a little bit of a fear of commitment, which is something that people are often surprised to hear from me because I give such Charlotte York energy. I really started working on that in therapy. I think last fall I was driven to therapy by someone that I was seeing who was just giving me so many mixed messages, and that's why I started therapy, which was probably a good thing. So around then I started being more intentional with dating, and I think I used to get into phases where I would delete all my dating apps. I would get hurt, or I would end something with someone and it would be really draining, and I would take honestly 3 to 6 months off. And I started working in therapy to, take breaks, but if a relationship is something that I want, not let negative experiences kind of hold me back from putting myself out there, if that makes sense. And of course this video is talking about my own experience. This is not an advice video by any means. I feel like I've done a lot of Q&As and chatty videos where I give advice and my 2 cents, but this is gonna be purely feelings hour, which I think is long overdue. So we're coming up onto a year of my big intentional dating spree, and at this point in time, I'm tired. I'm definitely feeling the dating burnout, and I think that New York City is just such a difficult place to date. It is. I think that people, myself included, can be quite flaky. There's so many people here, there's endless amount of options, so I think that people get very picky and particular, and they have this just unlimited amount of options and choice.
Well, there are so many goddamn gorgeous women out there in this city.
There's definitely big you're replaceable culture here that I haven't felt elsewhere, and it can be rough. It can be difficult. I was talking to someone and went home to Montana for like 2 weeks, and when I came back, like that person had already found someone else. So it just like moves very quickly in the way that like if you're not moving forward with someone, like they're gonna move forward with someone else. I just got out of something, like I was not anything serious, like it was the first person that I'd been like talking to in a while, where we were talking, you know, back and forth, multiple text messages at a time every single day for probably about like two and a half weeks, maybe like 3 weeks. And that is not a lot of time, but I feel like in dating app culture, like that is unfortunately more time than the average exchange. And I just ended things, which is kind of like what sparked this video, because this is the first time in a really long time where I felt like, do I want a relationship right now? Because I think for the last like year or two, I've been like, my answer has been like a solid yes. Like that is something that I want, that I'm working towards. And I felt a lot of like agency to, you know, like advocate for the fact that that was something that I did want. But you know, this person I was talking to, I just felt like it wasn't the right fit. Like I didn't feel a spark, or that we got each other, or that the conversation and like personalities and just general like chemistry was there. That can be so difficult to handle because you want to give people enough time to open up, get comfortable being themselves, and you want to like not be too harsh and give people a fair chance. I know I most definitely like sometimes need a little bit to warm up, like I can be a little bit shy, so I try to go in with that mindset whenever I get to know someone, like make sure to, you know, give them the benefit of the doubt. I try, now that I'm getting older especially, not to be too like quick to judge. So I really wanted to give it like a fair shot, but like in the end it just seemed like there were a lot of factors where we weren't compatible. I'm not comparing this like 2 to 3 week thing and like texting to a relationship, but it was a good example to me where you can have like a romantic prospect and you can have like someone who's paying attention to you and giving you this validation, and like someone to plan dates with, and someone to like ask you questions about yourself and your life, and like tell you good morning, tell you good night. You can have a romantic interest as a part of your daily life and still be, I'm not going to say the word miserable, but you can kind of be leaning towards misery territory. It was a really good reminder for me that like just because people are in relationships or just because people have someone doesn't necessarily mean that they are happy, that they are fulfilled, that they are supportive, or that it's a relationship that they necessarily want or that I would necessarily want. So it was like a really good reminder of that. I think I haven't felt that in a while, where, you know, things feel like a real potential prospect. It was such a nice wake-up call of like, oh, what I had before, like my life single without like this person sucking up my energy and my attention and my like day-to-day, what I've got is pretty damn good. It can be kind of like a depressing realization to come to, especially when like you're excited about someone and there is all this potential, but like you're kind of realizing it's just like not right. But at the same time, it's like kind of a cool conclusion to come to, where I think that I desperately needed a like reminder that like my single life is amazing and it's like so fulfilling and wonderful, and I have cemented some really beautiful friendships and like have wonderful support systems here in the city, and I love what I do. I'm like financially independent, really comfortable. I'm starting to be able to afford to like upgrade my lifestyle and, you know, be able to like treat myself to things and take myself on trips. And I have a really beautiful work-life balance and relationship with like work and rest, and have stuff outside of work that really brings me a lot of joy. And I don't know, like I'm in therapy, I work out, I have hobbies that I love, I have people in my life that I'm obsessed with. Not to say that there aren't rough periods, and sometimes I'm just like, whoa, things are just not going right for me. I definitely have like periods like that in my life for sure. Like the first few months of this year, I was definitely in a micro flop era, which I've talked about on here before. Now that we're like almost a year into my new job, I feel really comfortable. I feel really excited about the future. I'm able to also have enough work-life balance that I'm able to work on my own content and have the flexibility to be able to create a lifestyle that feels really maintainable and fills my cup. I feel like right now I've also been prioritizing the people who are prioritizing me, and not in a toxic sense of like, oh, I only give to get back. Like that's absolutely not how I operate whatsoever. It's nice to have friendships that feel reciprocated, and that the effort and the love and the affection and the support is very reciprocated. It's really cool to be growing those friendships and getting closer in those friendships and being able to share more experiences with these people. It feels really fun to be able to have people who are excited to make plans. And when you have separate like pockets of friends who want to be friends with each other, and you can all kind of coexist together and want to spend time as a larger group, it's a really special thing. I was journaling the other night and I was thinking about how I've been single since I was 22, and you know, I have moments where I'm like, that's just too long. I'm so behind. People are gonna see it as a red flag that I haven't been in a relationship since I was in college. I've never been in a relationship in New York since I've lived here the last 5 years, and I do get self-conscious of like, oh my gosh, what might people think? But ultimately, like, I also know that like this was very much a choice. I have had multiple instances of people who wanted to pursue a relationship with me where I knew that it just wasn't the right person, wasn't the right fit. It wasn't a relationship that I wanted to be in. So it is cool to have these aha moments where I'm like, this is very much a life that I've chosen for myself, and I do want to work on my hyper independence habits and like continue to go to therapy, continue to break down and like give people chances and give people a fair shot, and less caught up in checklists and like what I think my type is versus what my type could actually be. But at the same time recognize that I have something really good and I've built like such a beautiful life for myself that whatever I'm looking for next has to add to that. Like it cannot take away, because I feel so full right now in my life. I also love living in a big city, someplace like New York, where the culture is very much people don't settle down until honestly like late 30s, 40s even. And I love that, because as I've gotten older, I, you know, thought that I would feel ready, like this feeling of ready that people talk about when it comes to marriage, kids, settling down. And I swear I still feel like 16 when it comes to my readiness for any of that. So when I've been thinking about, okay, I'm so burnt out, I don't even know like if I want a relationship anymore. It's not that necessarily I don't want a relationship anymore. I do want a relationship. I do want the right relationship with the right person, but I'm not in a rush. I feel like maybe when I started the year, I was like, 2023 baby, like this is the year it's gonna happen. Right now I'm like, I don't even know if like I want that right now. Like I definitely want it someday, like if it happens next week or if it happens next year or like maybe 5 years, like who knows. Like I feel like I am just not in a rush right now. There's so much that I want to accomplish. Thriving being single can go both ways, where I think that sometimes it goes so far as to discourage even wanting a relationship, which I don't think is fair. Like I think that wanting a relationship and craving partnership and romantic love is something that is so natural, and I think that you can be the most independent, self-sufficient person and still want and crave partnership and a romantic relationship and a sexual relationship, and that shouldn't be seen as like not being independent or not being able to just stand on your own 2 feet. Like, I think that that's very unfair, and I've definitely had moments in my life where I've been very vocal about wanting a relationship, and people are just like, oh, well, you just have to be happy on your own, and I've been very much happy on my own, but like just want that partnership. And I think that especially as like you continue to grow and get older and get to a place where you do feel like you have a lot to offer to a partnership, I think that it is like a very fair thing to want and a very like natural, normal thing to want added to your life. But at the same time, I do feel so lucky for this time that I've had being single since I was 22 years old. Like, that's a solid 6 years of being just me, myself, and I. But I think especially for me, like, I needed this time. I had a very serious relationship with an older guy when I was in high school, and unfortunately I think that it caused me to like grow up or want to grow up or like try to grow up very quickly, and I think that I lost a lot of like very precious years of girlhood that I do feel like I have been sort of able to get back in my 20s. I'm not giving up on dating by any means. I still have all my dating apps. Got my eyes peeled for potential crushes to add to the mix. But I've been debating taking a little breather, taking a little break, being more open to meeting people out in the real world versus on the apps, because I've been on the apps for like 10 years. And sure, I had a couple relationships from it, but like not successful ones, and I think I'm becoming more open to like potentially meeting people out in the real world, and I don't know, putting myself in more situations where I could potentially meet someone. But yeah, I've been debating taking a little break, debating taking a break from the apps alone, been debating like getting into more casual dating, which I haven't done in a while, and I think all answers are okay. I think in this last year of being more intentional about dating, I have learned a lot about like what I want, what I'm looking for, what I want to feel around someone, and it's cool. I feel like I probably, as much as it's been like not as fruitful as maybe I'd hoped, I do think that I have learned a lot about like what I'm looking for in a partner, but also in life in general, and that's very exciting. It's also been really special the last few years to like get to fully explore my queerness and that identity. Since 2020, I've only been on like 2 first dates with cis men, so it's been a really special time for me to prioritize dating women and non-cis men. I do still feel comfy cozy with the bisexual identity, but that could change because, let's be real, I have not been interested in dating men the last like 3 years since I like publicly came out. So like, I'm not really sure what that, but yeah, that's been really fun and cool to explore as well in these years of being single and like being able to like date so many different types of people, especially being someone who came out a little bit later in life. 25 is really when I usually say I came out, but I came out to some people earlier than that. It's been particularly special to have this time like as a single queer person and like get to date like so many different types of people and like figure out like what my type even is with like women, non-binary people, non-cis men. So anyway, I feel like we needed a long overdue dating update, but I love talking about love and dating, relationships. Like, I think it's so fun. I think this was a great chance to just spill everything I've been like thinking and feeling the last few months specifically. Might have been overkill with the lip, I'm not really sure. Anyway, I'm all ready now. I think I'm just gonna spend the day shooting a bunch of content now that I have like hair and makeup done, might as well. But this was so nice to catch up and chat. Despite all the highs and lows of dating in my 20s in New York City, I would not change these experiences for the world, and I really am the happiest I've been in a really long time, and I'm excited to see what the future holds. I'm not giving up on love I'm not giving up on dating. I'm just not as in a rush to get into something right now, because I think I've really come to realize how happy I am on my own, and how beautiful this life that like I've built by myself for myself is. And that's such a special thing, and I'm so blessed to have had the opportunities that I have, and have the friendships and the people in my life that are my family, that are my support system. If you're also in the dating world and struggling, I'm right there with you. I'm sending you so much love, so much patience, and so much gratitude for what you've got going on your own, and you know, we've got this. That's it for me today, guys. Make sure to follow both myself and Aline on Instagram and on TikTok, and you can keep up with our more day-to-day shenanigans. Also, I know this was a chatty video, but we usually do New York City vlogs here on this channel, and we'd love to have you stick around. Thanks so much for getting ready with me today, guys, and listening to all of my ramblings. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.